speaking Spanish coming out of that highlight, and you let me down. So
sorry.
Do better next time. We'll talk to you, Will Selva. Everything happens on Thursday night. Fireworks. It's going to be wild. We're kicking off Week 11. The Seahawks, they're feisty. They're young. They're getting it done, but they're looking to snap a 2-game losing streak when they host the Packers on Thursday Night Football. Quarterback Russell Wilson, he says this team's confident in their abilities going into this important NFC matchup. Take a look.
I think there's a lot of urgency. I think there's a great sense of urgency. I think there's a calmness. I think that there's also great confidence. I think there's, laser focus that we have. So I think that I know that this team is very, very capable of doing what we're setting out to do. I think everybody should watch out what we can do.
All right, it doesn't matter what the implications of the game actually are. It just seems like every time the Packers and the Seahawks get together, it's wild. You're watching the entire 4 quarters. You're not getting off the couch. It's just that sort of a matchup every time it happens. So what is your favorite memory? Before we look at the future and break down what Aaron Jones is going to do up against what Mike Davis and Chris Carson have cooking on the other side, what is like the thing that sticks out to you in your head the most? A moment in this rivalry.
I go week 3, 2012. We're 2 weeks through. The replacement refs on the field. There are botch calls everywhere, and they're saying, is this thing ever going to end? Well, the only way the replacement refs has to end is if they make a colossal mistake in the last play of a game on Monday Night Football. And here we are, the Fail Mary. One judge says touchdown. The other one, watch this. Watch the signals here.
They look at each other.
Touchdown.
Interception.
Interception.
Amazing. What do you got?
That visual's amazing. What do you got?
I'm stupid.
What do you got? Yeah, the arrow. Okay, so here we go. The back judge's name was Derek Rondon. He signals the touchback, but the side judge was Lance Easley. If you think it ends there, guys, Lance Easley, obviously the lockout ends in the next week. The real refs are brought back into like standing ovations from fans, which was absurd.
Yeah. Lance
Easley went on to write a book, and it was called Making the Call, Living with Your Decisions. And it was all about the Fail Mary and its experience there.
Wow.
Golden Tate's involved, Aaron Rodgers is involved, Russell Wilson, but Lance Easley writes the book on the game. I love it. That was a memory I'll always have.
I'll go to the wild card game, 2003. It was the prequel to what this rivalry is now. You had Hasselbeck, former Packer, taking on Brett Favre, and it's going back and forth. The whole game, right, goes to overtime. There's a coin flip, and Hasselbeck says this.
What do you call it?
I like to call heads.
Heads is called.
We want the ball, we're going to score.
There wasn't many options.
We want the ball, he says. Let's go. And, of course, he proceeds to get the ball, try to score.
What happens, Kay?
Pick 6 to Al Harris, who runs it back. It sort of like spurred what this rivalry is. I think that's sort of where it started between these two squads. Yeah. And Al Harris
was sitting all over that route.
Coach with the Chiefs now, Trey.
He's now an assistant defensive backs coach with the Chiefs, but there's Al there. This play was crazy because we've never seen anyone at the coin toss have so much bravado and then get an egg in the face.
Hasselbeck has said I was out there with Brett Favre and I'm on green. They're close friends of mine. We were busting chops. I wanted to be funny. And sure enough, there was a score.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it from January 2004 to January 2015. One of the strangest, craziest playoff games I've ever seen up in Seattle. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers leading 16-0 at the half. Oh, Russell Wilson, the worst game of his career. 4 interceptions. There was no way the Packers could lose this game. And Brandon Bostic tries to get the onside kick as it was falling into Jordy Nelson's arms as it should have. This game had a John Ryan fake field goal touchdown pass. Watch this play by Russ.
This was crazy.
This is an absurd play. Julius Peppers about to sack him. You can't ever complete that. Ha-ha, Clinton.
Wide open.
Pick it off. Pick it off, ha-ha. No, it worked. Luke Wilson, who was only supposed to block on the play. Afterwards, the Packers players were saying we're in shock. Josh Shitten said, I will never forget this. I got drunk on the plane home. I can't believe we lost that game. Aaron Rodgers very earnestly said, we may never forget this one. This one may never, ever get past us. And it's true. An unbelievable loss. As Russell Wilson is weeping on the field after the game. This should not happen in the NFL, and it did. Wild day.
If I'm not mistaken, if they had won that game, which they should have, it would have been Patriots versus Packers. It would have been Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
You're right.
Right. I'll double up on that game because the fallout because of it was crazy. Bostic gets released after that, which it's not his fault. It blew me away as a player knowing that because he didn't catch the ball and let Jordy catch it, they released him when they had so many moments in the game to win it, which is basically the definition of the NFL.
Special teams coach got the Knicks also.
Yeah.
That was that.
Yeah, it's
You were
a crazy
Seahawks.
situation.
Describe this rivalry in one word.
Weird.
That's a great way to
Weird
put it.
things happen, and highlights happen. So we're going to get a little bit of both. It's going to be extremely entertaining.
Austin, Texas of NFL
There you go.
matchups. I love that. More on this one in just a little bit. It is 2 of